All right, guys. Welcome back to the third part of session 46. As you had recently ventured off the hills during a strange period of rest, knowing that your bodies need time to recover. Half the group had slept, the other half had stayed up. Um, and then eventually the whole group did meet up, waking, but realizing that it is day and still wanting to maybe do some preparations or gather themselves. Where Calusor is most interested in, well, who is or who was Hans? And a number of you went off to the same area where the Mother Wisp was located, trying to find his body. And then it came to the realization that actually it was the effects of the wisps and the winds that were manifesting the last images and memories of Hans. And that some maybe shocking information was discerned that Hans did die at the Necromancer's Tower. Hans was there at some point. But you do realize that he isn't 100% and not like himself as far as like realizing who he was or what he was in his former life. The group had returned from their stealth mission where Marb had basically become invisible, and you are back on the hill as Grant and Al are talking about food and cooking and just taking it easy, weaving through the undead to the hill. So, Menagerie, what would you like to do?
We're taking the rest of the day to rest.
Probably. Grant would probably ask the party coming back if they. Did you guys discover anything helpful? Anything interesting?
And
could say that.
I'd fill him in on everything, just like, yeah. So it was Hans' ghost I was seeing last night. We think it was because of the wind and the wisps and some combination, but ended up talking to Hans and he died at the Necromancer's Tower, I'm pretty sure.
Huh.
Yeah, not really sure how. He doesn't really remember. Doesn't like really remember how to get there, but he definitely was there at some point.
Hans was a trinket from the hag.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right?
But
We do know the hags have been around that tower since. Maybe they found him there or something.
yeah.
Okay. Are we camping out for the rest of the day? Do we have more preparations, or should we be trying to get in a little bit of hike this afternoon?
I feel great. We should go.
I would say we wait out the day. I don't think it'll hurt us to, and it definitely could hurt to leave now and get stuck in between.
I mean, the hills are way closer here than at the beginning of our journey, right? We should be able to make a few hills.
Yeah, but we know, I don't know if we're going to go to another hill and have corrupted wisps at that hill inside the beards. Like, I don't want another night like last night. I don't know how far that mother wisp's reach goes.
Is there any way when we got there we could like make sure that that doesn't happen?
Could burn all the beardies.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because they came out of the beardies, so.
Yeah, I mean, I can kind of sense them in the beards, but I can't really see them. Can any of y'all, like, see them right now?
I
Can
don't
I?
have. No.
I know. I literally, as all of you kind of look and trying to see, it's no. You see the tree beards. You see that, but you don't see any semblance of a wisp. You don't even see like the faintest of glimmers, or sorry about the pen, or anything like that.
Yeah, I mean we could. I don't know. There's pretty thick tree cover on these hills now. I think, right, Adam? Or relatively thick.
Yes. Well, relatively. Like,
It would take a long time to like literally cleanse all of them from those things. I think.
oh yeah, like here, like some of the trees look as if they have proper full canopies, but if you were to go and inspect them, no leaves whatsoever. It is just that thistle, spongy coral like Usnia just growing.
Yeah, I'll be like, guys, when I was my watch, I was up in the trees, and I could tell you there's all sorts of that stuff just all over. Like, even if we get to a hill and try and prep it by getting rid of that stuff, it would take us hours. I don't think we could reasonably do it.
Yeah.
Let's stay here, like, gather, like, forage, let's gather some food, like, get everyone back to, like, full rest, take a breather, and we'll head back tomorrow. Maybe, Cal, see if you can get Hans to guide us. That way we don't have to expend Pebble, and we'll have a little more direction.
Yeah, I want to try. I mean, we can see that blue, and I think that's where we need to head. Me and Davis can.
Yeah, and I mapped it out, so I've got a pretty good.
Wait, did we ever realize the blue wasn't the mother wisp?
No, it's something else.
It is indeed something else. It's still off in the distance.
Yeah, it's still there. I want to try and send Hans down to the pond again this evening and see if his ghost comes back and see if I can maybe glean any information about the tower from that, or see if the wisps interact or something again.
Ooh. Sounds like a plan.
Okay.
So I would like to stay for the day and the evening. We can prep some more torches if we have any man-eater plants left.
Yeah, was it the man-eater plants that we
can...
used? Or those? Yeah, I don't remember. How did we make the anti-undead torches?
Yeah, anti-torches were dried man-eater plants.
I have 50 pounds of that in the bag. We torches, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So.
I think I'm gonna go forage. I think it's the right word.
Okay.
Forage for food. Just to get a little of our rations back up, and we can make more torches. I like that idea.
I'd say if anybody's gonna leave the camp, take this horn, and if you get into trouble, just call for one of us.
Ooh, I'll grab the horn and like blow it, and nothing happens. It's like, wait, how do you use this?
Hey, wait, now look at me. Think of me.
Okay.
Just think, hey, I want to get Davis's attention. Now blow it. Now blow
Okay.
it.
And then I blow it as hard as I can.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's it. And we used another charge, but that's okay.
I'm gonna shake his fist twice and go back to what he's doing.
Okay, so, like, quickly think the prank possibilities.
Yep. I know that
Take
look.
a breath to blow it. It's like, no, maybe not.
We can't just do it all the.
You can only use it
Yeah.
for
We can't just use it a bunch, but I think we can use it a couple more times today. I don't know.
Hey, if I blow on the horn and I'm thinking of Dregnar, does it affect him from all the way
It's
over?
500 feet.
Oh, boo.
Oh, that's exactly what I was gonna do. I was gonna. If I
It's
could think of
600, so it's a
Ragnar
maybe.
do
Oh,
stuff.
600. Yeah, definitely. He's in that 100 foot.
It's worth a shot.
So funny. Sweet. Then I'll take. I'll be right back. I'll go.
I'll
see if I
forage.
can buy some food.
I'll go forage with you.
Yeah.
Out
Forage.
of character question for the horn.
Okay.
If you blow it and I guess you're not thinking of somebody or they're out of range, you either expend a charge.
Blow it without thinking of someone, no charge. Blow it thinking of someone out of range, it still uses a charge.
That makes sense. So no prank and Dregnar.
Not yet.
Do you know if
Nope,
they're out of range or not?
you do not. It's a basic magic
Yeah.
item. It's not like anything absurd.
My favorite part about it is if you can't see the person react, you don't know if it worked.
You guys bought the cheap horn for $100 more. You could have got the two-way.
I ain't got time for that.
So, all right. If you are going to forage, I remind you, you will be wading into. I gotta sneeze. I can't find my mute button. Ah.
Quick, panic.
All right.
It's
It
the
didn't
best
happen,
knee
but I have it.
stifler, not finding the mute button.
I didn't sneeze, but I have the mouse over it in case it comes back. You will be waiting out there, though
There is
daylight.
undead.
There's still a lot of yeah. So if you want to, please proceed with caution, and whoever's going to go forage, roll me
I
a
will.
stealth check.
I will quickly make
Self check.
one more of those torches because I have the. Oh, yeah, we have all the materials.
It's not a quickly process. It takes about an hour, right? Because you need
Yeah.
to layer it in. You need to get.
I
the
was gonna
sap.
let Mr. Invisimarb just go by himself.
Wait, Rock, give me a second. I'm looking up a spell real quick.
Oh, do you have pass without trace?
No, but I can make you Dexy, with enhanced ability.
True.
You know what? I'll let Marvel be like. You know what? You're probably. I'll just attract zombies. I'm gonna make some torches.
Yeah. So
Advantage and Dex check.
I'll stay behind and make.
Oh.
okay, if you're gonna make multiple torches, you can go ahead and roll me a honestly, it's a dexterity check. To kind of work your hands and put them together. and
I'll
all that.
help. Like, so if that either gives advantage or I'll do another roll as well.
You can give him advantage. if
Yeah,
you
I'll
wish.
give you.
Point. And I rolled a 16 stealth.
Okay. Marv, as you kind of weigh out, you very cautiously kind of, leave the hill, look around. You see, you kind of not as confident going out by yourself as you like pass 6, 7, 8, 2 dozen zombies, but you do eventually, and you're foraging. Are you going to the woods? Are you just foraging the open clearing? Are you going kind of an idea? Right.
I'll definitely start like around the hill. Once I get to the bottom, kind of like doing like circles around the hill.
Okay.
And I think I can get double food.
Can, but keep in mind that this place is very little food, if any. You haven't really found it in the last couple of days.
Yeah, that's why I want as much food as possible.
Right. It will be a survival check. DC is fairly hard just because, just because you find double of nothing is still nothing, right? So
That's true.
so not necessarily the easiest thing to do.
14.
Yeah, Marb, you're gonna spend at least an hour out there, if you're willing to, and man, I'm sorry, it's no, just like
Snuff it around.
You swear, like you dig up some roots and you're like, oh sweet, 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 and then you look at them and they're just you give it a sniff and you're like, no, no,
Should be
you feel
plus 3 more, right? Because of the natural explorer. I don't know if that matters.
He's not proficient in.
Yeah, I'm
Oh,
not
it's only for
proficient
proficient.
in. I know. The only thing I'm proficient in wisdom is perception. So
Wait, no. You do no. Sorry. You do get your plus 3 because if you are on your I get what Davis is saying. So if you are not proficient, you get to add your proficiency
Oh,
points.
okay.
If you are not proficient, or if you are proficient, you get to add it again. So yes, technically, because his wisdom is, it should be a 17. But even with a 17, Marb, after an hour, unless if you're willing to keep pushing, you're not finding anything. Like you're finding like glimmers of hope every once in a while. And then, like I said, you pull up a root and it smells foul. You go to a bush and you see what looks like some berries, and you go and you kind of carefully go to grab it, and it's a cluster of stinging insects, and they swarm out, right? And you kind of have to carefully bat them away and everything. It's not fruitful at all.
well,
Even the water that you find has just been stagnant and sitting here, and you don't want to mess with filtering that. So, Rock, dexterity check at advantage because Davis is helping you make.
I rolled a 12.
12 total? Yeah, it's gonna take you, it's gonna take you the better part of 30 minutes per torch at this rate.
That's fine. I will make as many as I can with the 50 pounds until the daylight runs out.
Okay, let's do an efficiency. Go ahead and give me an intelligence check, see how efficient you are with it.
20 total.
What total? You can make 5 more torches.
Nice.
How many pounds will I use? I forget what our ratio was before.
Yeah, the ratio used to be better, but that's what I was trying to think. It's essentially a pound an hour of the dried stuff because you gotta like apply it carefully, and you're not actually adding a pound of it. It's just getting it to stick and getting it to apply. So
I feel like that's a lot less use than what we did before.
you
Yeah,
rolled a
you rolled
20
well.
on intelligence. Yeah.
Okay.
So is that 5 pounds
Cool.
then?
So I've used 5 pounds and I've made 5 torches.
No, no, five. Sorry, no, a pound an hour. A torch is 8 hours. So you used 40
Oh,
pounds.
an hour of
Oh,
torch time,
okay,
not an
yeah,
hour
yeah.
of torch creation.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I thought you meant an hour of
That makes
like
sense.
construction time.
Sorry. So you
Okay, that matches way better to what we did
Yeah,
last
that
time.
definitely.
Yeah. So you can make up to that many. You know what I'm saying?
Yep,
Sorry, that
makes
wasn't
sense.
clear. It'll take you that amount of time. It takes about 30 minutes a torch to make. So
Okay.
yeah. So as you're doing that, Davis is helping. I guess Marb, you're having unsuccessful foraging. Al, Calasor, Hans, Grant, are y'all doing anything?
Mm,
Hmm.
no, I don't think so. I don't think Kent's got
I-
anything specific to work on.
Okay.
I bug Rock a little bit and ask if I can help with maybe gathering more moss or anything if he thinks we need more. And I'll probably like come back every 30 minutes like, hey, do I just put it on the fire to dry it up? Do I need something in between?
Moss? What are we using moss for?
What was the main ingredient to the
Oh, the
torches?
maneater plants. I don't think you want to go finding
It's
those.
plants. My bad. It's not the beards.
Nope, not the beards.
Take it back. I'm gonna watch and play music.
I mean, if you want to find a maneater plant, you think you can kill it, sure.
I'm gonna keep an eye out for him in case they try and sneak up on us, but I'm not gonna go out looking for him.
Interestingly enough, while Al, you're kind of strumming
Oh.
along, and you swear you see a giant, lumpy, massive plant just kind of inch. Marb, as you are getting kind of frustrated with your, attempts to find food, one thing you do stumble across with that 17 survival is troll tracks again.
Ooh.
You managed studying, and you managed to kind of pull out that there's 4 trolls or so, and
How about their freshness? How recent are they?
a day or so too, at most.
Wait, at most?
2 days at most. They're most likely more like along a day or so.
Can I tell at least?
What do you mean?
Because at most means a day or less. So they
Oh,
could be
sorry.
like 2 hours.
Sorry, so they are sorry. So the window is 2 days old, 1 day old, somewhere around there. Sorry.
Okay, so at most 2, at least 1. Okay, whew. I was about to cast like expeditious retreat and
Ah!
roll in the dungeon.
Nope on out of there.
Yeah, just a nope. Just a nope.
I would like to cast Nope, please.
Yeah.
Sweet.
I'm sorry, that's a 9th level spell.
Can I roll anything to determine, or can I tell their direction? Are they going north? Like, will we cross them in our path to the tower?
They see, at least it depends on how far you're willing to follow these tracks, right? The ones that you see are at the edge of the forest, kind of going into where edge of the tree line, and you kind of went in trying to look for some stuff, and then you see that they just keep going for your visual eyesight of about 100 feet or so as you kind of track further looking for foraging, and they've found them and you've kind of followed them. Just seems to be taking their approach, going through and through. And then as you, with your passive perception, you do see that there are smashed zombie here, smashed zombie here. Oh, that's interesting. And you find some fresher blood, like a day old. It's kind of sticky. Deep
okay.
red. It smells like swamp.
Swampy blood. Sweet. I make a very urgent mental note of that, and I guess head back after not finding food.
Yep. As you kind of do return, you see Rock and Davis kind of working together to take sap and dried matter and torches and essentially make more torches. Grant's just kind of in a relaxed state, kind of just enjoying a little bit of downtime with his armor off. Al is kind of, I think, strumming away on his lute. Calsor, are you up to anything?
Yeah, I would like to get out the scrawlings.
Okay.
And search them specifically to see if there's any mention of like slaves or servants being used in the necromancer tower.
All right. Sure. Yes, go ahead, and it would be an investigation check as you're going through the documentation.
Guidance.
You're going through and you're seeing. I mean, you see notice of entities that have been encountered. Undeadly hordes, things patrolling tunnels, winding staircases with potential traps. Uh, it's not very clear about like slaves. I mean, technically, almost everything categorized as a slave to a necromancer, right?
Right.
So nothing stands out. Yeah.
Okay.
As you are on that bead, go ahead and give me. What would be good for Cal? Go ahead and just give me a straight wisdom check. So you can add your proficiency to, as you have many proficiencies in wisdom. So it's d20 plus 8. Yeah, there you go. You do have one other source of documentation that y'all haven't studied too much. There is the ledger. And there
Right.
was that spooky black note on it and stuff like that, or black stone. So you might be able to find something in there if you spend some time.
Yeah, I'd spend some time. Like, I don't have much to do today, so I'd just spend the time going over notes and stuff, I guess.
Okay. Then go ahead and give me another investigation check as you're going through. And this is a lot easier now that it's written in common tongue. You're not having to
And
piece it
can
together.
can I guidance myself on
Yeah.
this? Or okay.
Yeah. So keep in mind, like anytime you basically have like a prepared situation, you definitely can take 6
Okay.
seconds to guidance yourself. But it's always good to ask.
That's why guidance is so broken.
Yeah, it's a cantrip. It's the best cantrip in the game. 20. Okay, yeah. So interestingly, actually, I do need to check that. You might have hit a DC that I wasn't expecting. Entry point. All right, let me look at my elsewhere notes real quick. And actually, I might need to check my phone for this. I might have not actually put it in here. Hey, I put.
Hold on, I gotta call the
notes, like,
necromancer and
ideas-
see if he's gonna tell.
Simon?
Yeah, Simon. Yo, they rolled a 20. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, no, sorry guys. I do like ideas do come to me sometimes, like on walks and stuff, and then I have
It's
to.
good.
And I didn't translate it in here. Okay, yeah. Interestingly enough, yeah, you needed a 20 to find it. As you're searching for servants or companions, possibly along those lines, there you find a. It's not necessarily like in the black speech section, right? But you do find a section where it speaks of the descent into darkness and the effects that the Black War had on Elsevier, and rumors of her obsession with finding soothsayers, prophets, scriveries of those type, and enlisting them into her services. Yeah. She had a thing for trying to possibly figure some sort of a soothsayer or a farseer or something like that would tell you.
Okay.
Yep. And you do, I guess, with a 20. She didn't often take no as an answer.
Right.
Yep. But yeah, that was in the.
Would that
ledger.
bring any like clarity or remembrance to my vision of Hans or his ghost that I saw? And like maybe what he was doing with his hands was some kind of ritual and not crafting something, anything like that.
He definitely had some sort of tool in his hand. You can you can give me a. It's basically it'd be a history check at disadvantage for recent events, but it's still fuzzy. I really wish there was like more diversity in history checks and stuff like that. I miss the old knowledge systems. Yeah, he
Time
was.
to build your own.
Yeah, unfortunately, like, yes, he was doing something and he was busy, but you don't know exactly what.
Okay. Cool.
But-
That's all I'll have. Like, I'll maybe
Cool.
study a little bit more and then put it away and
Mhm.
take a nap.
Sounds good.
Nap's always good.
Yeah, sunny out on the hill, you know?
Cool. Yep, yep. Anyone else doing anything, or do we want to go ahead and trickle down into nighttime when Calsor wants to go back to the lake?
I'm chill.
Grant is just enjoying it.
I'm reading about the fate system. The RPG game.
Grant
Mhm,
is. I'm just kidding.
Grant is, yes, he's reading
Yes.
about the
A
fates.
scroll that details the RPG system.
Yeah. All right. Well, if no one has any objections, Cal, what time are you thinking about going out?
I would probably, like, I'm not positive I'm going to go out right away. I'd
Mm.
wait to see if there's, like, wisp activity, I
Okay.
guess. So, like, dark enough that I would think wisp should be out and about.
Okay. So, as the
And
sun
if that's like
does-
second watch or third, I don't know if that's like in the watch area, in which case I'd
I
just
understand.
try and take one of those watches.
Yeah, I understand. So as the sun does begin to set, you guys set up, you rebolster your fire, you sit on the hill and observe the numerous undead start to pick up in activity. You start seeing not just the zombies, but the husks are coming out. The ghouls are starting to patrol. And like previously, some of the ghouls and some of the husks are rushing the hill trying to see how high they can get. It's uncomfortable, right? You're seeing a snarling, semi-human visage just trying to do everything it can to get at your throat. Where you start looking up in the trees, Cal, and actually really anyone, since you all have proficiency training, you would notice that previously you did not see the wisps circling. You did not see the wisps circling the trees and all that, but these other wisps, right, the more purified wisps, as the moonlight does shine upon them, they start to reveal themselves, and you see them just kind of circling, going around the branches and traveling back and going down the trunk of the tree and spiraling back up, and they seem to be doing something. Cal, go ahead and give me a perception check. Oh yeah, there you go.
Cool.
With that 28 natural 20, yeah, you eventually at some point during the night, not really when you guys are starting to set up shifts, that breeze does kick in, and it's that same kind of cold, and you focus and you listen, and you hear maybe the sounds of off to the distance, and you do see some of those other wisps start emerging from various vegetation and all that, where you see the little discharges of some of them floating and some of them shunting quickly.
So we were able to see two ghosts from the hill last time, correct?
Yeah,
Last night.
just as they were kind of wandering by.
So I would send Hans to that location to see if the same like thing would happen. Have him like walk along the path that the zombies that the ghosts appeared behind were.
Sure. You send out Hans, and per usual, as he departs, none of the undead pay him any mind. He just managed to walk around, no issue. And it takes some time, and eventually it kind of sets in where it becomes time for shifts and for night watches. So who is staying up for the first watches, second watches, third watches? How are you guys deciding to do this?
I'll stay up for first watch because I was the last one to sleep in. So.
I'll stay up for first one too. That's fine.
What watch was it that we saw the ghosts last time first appear?
If I recall right, it was around the transition from first to second.
Okay, then I'd do second.
Okay.
And I would tell Hans to stay in that area and then tell Rock and Marb to wake me up if they see his ghost.
Okay. I'm just kind of ordering y'all on the map. So that who's on second with Cal? And then your poison
I'll go
stuff
second.
with Fade at this point. Okay. And then
Taking
the breakfast
breakfast
crew.
Oh yeah, that's right, breakfast crew.
Yeah.
Breakfast crew.
Teach me your secrets.
All right. So as you first watch goes, short of anything, you guys are. I don't think you're gonna find anything too fascinating or interesting, unless if you guys wish to do something or interact with it. So Barb, Rock, anything?
All I want to do is ask Rock, how is Pebble doing? I guess if he can feel like Pebble recharging, I don't know, but just hoping Pebble's all right now that he's dispelled. I don't even know.
I don't want to bring Pebble back out, so I don't know.
You can't tell. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, definitely don't bring Pebble out.
She's safe where she is. I don't think she can be hurt there.
Awesome. I'm glad.
Yeah, I just can't wait for all this to be done. I don't know. We keep stumbling into just the weirdest places.
Oh man, believe me, I know. Everywhere we turn, there's some new crazy spooky magic shit. But hey, hopefully we'll be back in town soon, and we'll have a couple of ogre busters to celebrate.
Heck yeah, I'm in for the Ogre Busters. Well, I
Hell
don't know if it'll be the same without Dregnar.
Hey, I mean, we don't know. We gotta trust Dregnar wherever he went. He's a good fellow. He's taking care of important stuff. You know, he was just messing with you. Dregnar saved us from a lot of rough times, so I doubt he was ill-intended. I think it was just a prank letter that he left you. So he'll be back after he takes care. It's probably very important, so he had to go do it. He wouldn't leave us just for anything or just a little bit of not hazing, but like pranks back and forth between you two.
Yeah, you're probably right. I still miss drinking with him though. Man, he could drink. I don't know. I don't know.
Oh
if I
man, he could drink. Yeah.
I don't want to. I don't want to lose my iron shell crown, but. Ooh.
Such a tiny fella, he could move hella fast. He
Random
was
dwarf
hella
next to
strong, but he could definitely drink. Sure. We'll drink an ogre buster in his. No, wait, which one's the bigger ogre buster? Colossal.
Guzzling,
Guzzling giant.
guzzling giant.
The guzzling giant in his honor.
He'd like that, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't know
I
about
have-
the non-drinkable. Yeah.
I have nothing for the night.
Okay. Yeah, it'll be honestly a calm night. Again, every few, let's say every like 5 minutes or so, say 3 to 5 minutes, you do hear that as something tries to run up the hill and starts scratching, and then starts just sliding down. But never seems to make it too much further. There's always every once in a while where one just gets a little bit higher, a little bit further, but you guys are okay for the night.
Can I shoot firebolts at them from where I am on top of the hill? Am I close enough?
Oh yeah, I mean it's 120-foot range. You could, yes.
Anytime I see one that like seems to get a little further than the rest, I'll throw a firebolt at it.
Okay. We'll allow it. Like you're able to every once in a while. It's maybe once an hour, so like maybe 4 or 5 times on your watch, maximum. You just kind of pelt it, and as you hit it, sometimes it's significant, sometimes it's just a little graze. But they seem to, when they get to the point on the hill, you notice that they don't seem to really be able to react as quickly. So they seem to be easier targets.
I'm gonna point that out to Marv. Be like, hey, just as they get to the peak of their charge at us, they are so easy to hit. And I'll tell them that as I throw a firebolt at one of the charging ones. Like,
So as like you guys have mentioned it, like on maybe the fourth one that's doing that, you're all both kind of paying attention, and you see as it does, Marb, especially you, your keen eye just for hunting tactics and stuff. You really notice that as it goes up the hill, it does seem to almost seize up. Like the last bits of its movement are just kind of carry over from the momentum and everything that it was doing previously.
Okay. Before we switch, I'll go to like the invisible barrier point where I see them kind of like freeze up and like mark the same line that I did last night, and I hope I can find the one from last night as well, and see if it's getting like a little closer or anything. But it's not. I've just like double marked it to make sure we have a measurement.
So the consistent point is the same. If you like spend like an hour or so watching the one that got further, the furthest one tonight is further than anyone has gotten. But it's just one instance where they got a head start and it just booked,
As far as it could go.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then you see as it's like it gets to the point and it like leaps and it's clawing and it's just like dragging as it's just basically the weight just seems to drag it down the hill before it's able to do anything.
That's it.
Nice. All right. So as you guys go to wake up Calsor and Davis for the second watch, the winds do kind of pick up and you get the breezes and you hear, the little faint little. And at one point you actually none of y'all have dark vision, so fuck it. No, you're still asleep as they're going to wake you up, So now Davis and Calsor, you guys are getting woken up.
I will gently wake Davis up from a somewhat safe distance with a little due to the previous getting punched in the face episode.
I get you. So yeah, Davis, Calsor, you guys come to, and yeah, Cal, you feel the wind, your hair kind of, as it passes through, blows. And you look over, kind of seeing the semblance of the light, and you see Hans essentially hasn't moved. Just listen to your orders. Anything from you, Davis or Calusor, as Marvin Ruck? Go ahead and.
No, I was gonna say like yeah, I'll kind of just nudge Rog really. Hey, yeah, thanks. A little safer this time, I see.
I'll point to the line and be like, "Yeah, that's the line.
What line?
Good night." Where they won't get closer than that. I mean, they get closer, but they just like seize up and die. And
Oh,
Rock has
like
been
okay.
like throwing fireballs at them all night, so kind of like the safety line.
Rock. I mean, last time you threw around fire, you know what happened.
I'm gonna just yell back because I heard that. I'll be like, "We were in an explosive swamp at the time. We're on a hill now, kind of different."
Uh-huh.
True.
Because things are always
That's
as
it.
they seem.
I throw fireballs, kind of what I do.
All right, get some rest.
All right.
Good night.
Good night. So yeah, Cal and Davis, as you guys are on watch, Calusor is sometime passes 30 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour. After about an hour and a half, a real nice cold breeze comes swooping by, and you set your sights over to where Hans is, and you do see just the starting, like the flickering of the spectral kind of blues start coalescing off to a distance a little bit from Hans. And as you watch, you do see your little kobold in essentially an image where he's sitting and his back from a distance from you can see he's kind of back towards you in like a seated position, and you just kind of see his hands kind of moving.
Who sees it? Both of us or just Cal?
You both have dark vision, so Cal is definitely focusing on it. Davis, if you're with him, then you would see it as well.
I would be patrolling. I might eventually catch up, but not necessarily at this time.
Yeah. So as you're patrolling, Davis, as it takes a little bit, you just see Cal just kind of
Fixated.
focusing. Yeah. What do you want to do, Cal?
So I can't really see what his hands are doing at all.
The distance is the problem. Like you can see it.
How would moving down the hill to where Marb has drawn a line, would that help, or is it still going to be too far away?
That's kind of where I imagine you kind of getting as far as you can. You do see, just because I will say, just because you are focusing and you are prepared for this, I'm not gonna get you to do a perception check. When this happens, you notice that Hans is just like perfectly still.
Okay. If I were to like command him to like rotate, would the image rotate with him, or would it like disappear? Because I like when the zombies were walking the other day, like they were moving and their ghosts didn't go away. So I wouldn't think him moving would change that.
Yeah, let me see the range on your telepathy with him real quick.
Oh, yeah, I'm not sure.
Oh yeah, you do have that item. I forgot you had that item. Find familiar. I should pull it up. Yeah, okay. Let's pull up Find Familiar real quick.
It's a decent range.
And how far away would you say he is right now?
He's on the tail end of like your dark vision with some extra light. So with the dimness and that, he's probably about 100 or so feet away.
Okay.
That's 100 foot.
You're definitely like
for the telepathy.
Yeah, so I would say, I'm not gonna be dick. Yeah, so you tell him to kind of rotate, and as you notice that there's a little bit of like a lagish delay, right? But then he does kind of like scuttle over, and essentially like if he was to face you, he's facing you, but the image is still just kind of in that space. It doesn't necessarily move with him.
Okay. I am going to. You say it's about 100 feet?
Yeah. The
I'm
fact that you were able
gonna
to,
go ahead.
the fact that you made a mental connection with him and he responded, you're comfortable that he's within 100 feet or so.
Right. And are there any other ghosts, like, from other zombies closer?
Nope.
No? Okay. I am going to cast Radiant Soul, and I'm gonna fly in for a closer look.
Whoa. Okay.
Okay. I mean, there are other. So to be clear, there are other zombies. There are not other zombies projecting images.
Right, I know. I'm
Okay.
gonna fly up above their heads, and I'm just gonna do a quick, like, circle glance around and back.
Okay, so fly speed of 30, you dash for 60. So yeah, you got plenty of time to get there. All right.
Now, to make sure, I would look around to see if there's any of the smarter zombies, like, watching
Mm-hmm.
before I take off. Are there any?
Zombies wearing the professor's robes.
Actually,
and
as he
hats.
takes off, I'm just gonna kind of quietly be like, "Yo, where are you going?"
There are definitely like one or two ghouls that have been just kind of observing the hill. And as you sprout your wings, you do see that they kind of look as you kind of lift off and they kind of, if you do take off, they're kind of following you.
We haven't noticed, like, any of them having weapons like bows or the intelligence to use a bow or anything like that, correct?
No, they seem to, from what you've seen, there have been a few like the zombie-like ones that have just been dragging some semblance of something. Like their skeleton warrior had a claymore, the zombie female had a claymore. If you would have seen the Minotaur have a chance, he would have. Sorry, the dwarf, he would have drawn his maul.
Right.
But yeah, like these ghouls are just claws and teeth and talons essentially, and spines.
Okay. Yeah, then I would do it.
All right. So Davis says, "Hey, what are you doing?" And you just see Calzer.
Yeah, I'll just stand guard with them.
It is, it is dark vision, so you can't necessarily make out too many colors, but there is some illumination, and again, it's mostly up like the spectral blues. And as you're kind of circling, your perception is good enough, but just for the sake, go ahead and give me a perception check as you're trying to point out what the image of Hans's memories are.
Damn.
3s and 20s, I'll take it, I guess.
Yeah. He is feverishly scribing stuff down. He's a scrivery. Taking notes, writing. And you see in one of the images that you didn't necessarily make sense, it's when he does when that image of his eyes going wide, what you didn't notice is that there's little semblance of memories of like relics that are half appearing, like burning candles, essences, pots of stuff. And you can, with the 20, you can make out that these are things that are used to induce visions, induce concepts, like have things happen. And he's, with that, you can kind of point out that he's maybe crafted some of these things because they are like, of bone, of clay, of pot, of scale, all that. And that image when he, wide-eyed and nothing, isn't necessarily because he stares death in the face. It's because he saw something, and then that's the last thing he remembers. Natural 20. 28.
Okay. I would fly back to safety after seeing it, like, repeat itself, basically. Know that that's what it is, and get back.
Essentially, you basically got confirmation that he was probably one of those slaves.
Okay.
So, did you see something? Like,
yeah, so Hans, when I was reading the ledger earlier, it talked about how Elsewhere, like, either enslaved or forced, or some may have gone along willingly to be soothsayers for her.
I don't know what that means.
they could tell the future or
Okay.
deal with hallucinations, kind of magic-y, not like super powerful, but could do some things. And Hans was one of them, I'm pretty sure. And
Oh.
he would craft some items and could write things. So yeah, not really sure if it helps us too much, but it's super interesting.
Hmm.
So he's definitely been in the tower. So I don't know if when we get there, if he'll have some recollection and maybe help us be able to like move through it. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess when we get there, maybe just make sure he's looking out for us.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Anything else? Is that it?
I think. Well, yeah. At the very end, his eyes just go super wide, like he saw something.
I mean, we were
but
seeing
I don't
those
know.
things like dying, right? Isn't that what all those images were?
Yeah.
So, kind of makes sense.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what I'd think too. Yep.
Okay.
And then
And
Yeah,
Davis,
I
one
just-
thing, yeah, real quick, one thing that you would have noticed is when Calasor was flying back, as he was making his ascent, one of the ghouls would have tried running, actually one of the ghouls, and try to leap up and try to snag him at one point, but failed.
Okay.
I guess I would just spend the rest of my watch, keep an eye out, and just in thought about what I saw. Would I have recognized any of what was he writing in? Like, did I recognize the
Oh
language?
no! Unfortunately, no. Unfortunately, that's like it's a wash. That kind of memory, right? Like the details, like when
Yeah.
you, I guess, in a way, like a lot of people say when you're dreaming, if you do remember numbers and letters, it's usually like scribbles and makes no sense. It's essentially like that. Like you couldn't make out anything. That'd be too far of a detail. Even with a natural 20, I'm sorry. It's a observation of a memory.
Right. Okay.
So
I will just patrol then.
yeah, it'll be one of those nights where you patrol it uneventful otherwise.
Okay.
You do see off to the distance that some of those staticky wisps are floating around, but not really in like this massive swath that had been at least experienced in this hill. Maybe it's happening somewhere else, but in your area, it's a dozen wisps at most. But this entire time, Cal, and if when you do look, and Davis, you look, those few purified wisps have just been making their way around these few trees on your hill, just trying to loop them and do their job.
Before I go back to sleep,
Mm-hmm.
I have a little like hand drum that I use, like to play with Alan and stuff sometimes. I'm going to balance it on Rock's shelf, skin down.
Okay.
Very delicately so he doesn't notice.
Sure. Give me a sleight of hand check.
Alrighty. Is this considered opposed?
He's unconscious.
Okay. I was just going to see if I needed to bolster myself. Or could bolster myself.
Yeah.
20.
Technically.
20. Easy.
Okay,
Okay. No, not natural
yeah,
20.
yeah.
18 plus 2.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, you managed to balance it. So, yeah, as you guys go to sleep, Al and Grant, you are awoken by your two
I'll let Al
patriots.
in on the prank.
Hey, nothing happened.
I'll tell Al, but by the way, leave that on Rock.
Huh. I don't know how you balance that.
Yeah, I got a deft
Good
touch.
job. Okay. I'll take some time to walk circles around and examine, like, oh, nice job.
Okay. So, similar to what I was describing to the other guys, the undead are here. Some of them rush the hill every once in a while. Ultimately, you see a few wisps here and there. You do see the purified wisps circling the trees. Is there anything you two gentlemen would like to do?
Hey, Cal, before you go to bed, are all these wisps fine? You didn't seem to mention them. They're cool.
Yeah, they seem fine.
Okay. I was gonna keep a sharp eye on them.
Mm-hmm. As you keep a sharp eye on them, the ones that are near you, Al, do not leave the tree the entire night. Or the trees.
It's only because I'm watching them.
That's fine. Alright.
They know they're being watched.
Grant, anything from you, sir?
Probably just patrolling.
Mm-hmm.
Probably not much else tonight.
Okay, perfect. If you guys don't have anything you wish to, accomplish or do that, you're able to continue through, and the sun will be meeting you soon enough. And if you believe it is time for noms, well, you need a roll to see if when dawn comes, if the items recharge. So anyone who used charges on your items, D6s. So for the
Yeah,
horn,
we definitely used 2 of
for
them.
it's just
That one's for the bag.
the bag does not recharge.
And do I roll for the horn since I
No,
technically
Al
have it?
does.
Al does, it's his. So
Okay. Sweet.
y'all are just using it.
Wow.
The horn does not recharge.
I assume it's 4 or higher.
Yes, sir.
What was the other? Ladle.
The ladle.
That's
Oh.
a ladle. Shit.
The ladle does not recharge.
Ladle, not Ladell.
Yeah. I believe that's all the items that y'all used. The shard can shift. If you want to roll yours. No more super shard, probably. We'll see. Maybe you'll get it again.
Nope.
Nope.
At least it's not bad
Yeah,
shard.
that's true.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yep. All right. So, Al, you are still able to expend, increase the volume that you make and make it delicious and all that. However, you have, when you start cooking, Marb is not awake, so you cannot use his rations, and you are not able as a group to forage anything. So you guys are coming down to either conjuring biscuits or, making water and all that stuff. So how do you guys want to handle it?
Well, yeah, I guess I might as well continue the rations and water routine. Keep everybody topped off.
All right, so please mark off the appropriate spell slots.
Yep.
And
Are
then
we-
Al.
Okay, so the food counts as gone.
Are we long rested?
Pile of biscuits just sitting there on the ground.
Once you guys once morning comes and you guys eat, you guys will be officially well rested, and you guys can take a long
Do we have to
rest.
do the con save then?
Yeah, do we get to swap spells?
Yes, as this was not a arduous, crazy night. You guys get all the regular long resting done.
Nice.
I will be swapping some spells around.
I would imagine.
Oh.
Mostly happy with what I got at the moment.
Right. And then, as you guys are doing this, I got to ask: would you guys like to continue rolling, or are we good here? It's up to you guys.
I think it's probably a good
Agreed.
stopping point. It's
Yeah.
almost 1 in the morning, yeah.
Sounds
Also,
good.
don't forget when Rock wakes up, it goes thump thump thump.
Well, yes. That is the most
Thinks
important
he's
thing.
being attacked.
So, thump, thump, thump. Yeah. All right.
Turtles down the
So,
hill.
if you guys would be so kind before we call it for the evening, do finish your long rest. Please do swap out your spells. Cal, mark somewhere mark down that you have the 2 on your shard. Rock portents when you can, please, and write them down somewhere.
Roll 20 chat being a perfectly good spot to write 'em, probably.
Yeah.
Cool.
Just,
Beauty. 15,
Oh,
20.
nice.
nice. Okay. I will say actually before, just because I do want to throw this in. I know it's late, but now that I think about it, Davis, as you are
Oh, yeah.
sleeping, because of the, as
Mhm.
is. When you're asleep tonight, the part that you recall is a full moon, two full moons circling one another, and your perspective is that again from a mountaintop somewhere, and you're staring up. CJ, mute if you can, please.
Yeah.
Thank you, thank you. And as you're kind of looking up and you're seeing the two moons, you recognize them. It's Luna and Loon. Uh, the you try to pan through the night sky and you see some more constellations. And as you're looking at them and focusing on them, you see that what you look at as a constellation, as you focus on it, it does then begin to shift and change and to link with other constellations and make a new one. And you look over there and there's another one linking, combining. Go ahead and give me unfortunately for you, it's
Yeah,
an
it's fine.
intelligence check.
Just intelligence.
Uh,
I mean, I'm not
yeah,
proficient in anything with intelligence, so it actually doesn't matter.
yeah,
So.
it doesn't really matter.
Oh, natural 20, so 19.
Nice.
Okay.
But you have a minus
Yeah,
one.
dude.
My man.
You've never seen these constellations before. This is interesting. Okay. Wasn't expecting a natural 20.
I mean, it is a 19 too. Don't forget.
I know, I understand, but still, it's good enough. I gotta reward you for the natural 20 still. My, per my way. In your travels, especially the ones that make up the bulk of your history, right? You've heard tales from salty sailors, like the old folk, the ones that have missing teeth and skin that is more leather than supple. Um, that there are messages in the sky. There are, if you're willing to look at the night sky, you can learn something. Something out there is always trying to say something.
Okay. Noted.
Spooky.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, natural 20 for 19. All right, boys. Session 46 in the books.